Grizzlies fans, welcome back to another Grizz Game Day update. It is second half of back-to-back. Tonight, the Grizzlies take on the Toronto Raptors. Here to join me and break this one down is Blake Murphy. Are you excited for this one?
I am. I'm very excited. I've enjoyed watching the Grizzlies a lot since John Morant came back. This is only the second game for the Raptors since the big trade. OG Anunoby off to the Knicks, Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett into Toronto. It's also the first game of a very tough 6-game West Coast road trip for the Raptors. So, or Western Conference. I know you guys aren't on the coast, but yeah, it feels like there's a lot to figure out tonight for these guys.
Okay, yes. I do think first things first, let's talk about no more OG, and you get RJ, the hometown hero, as well as Quickly. They played one game, and the Raptors won that one in Cleveland. So you're coming off a win where RJ has 19, Emmanuel has 14. And I know this is very early, Blake. I get it. But how did it look the first game? Like, did it look smooth? Did you like what you saw?
Yeah, it looked like it makes a lot of sense offensively. The Raptors obviously have not been a very good offensive team the last couple of years, and they didn't really have a ton of ball handling. And the fact that Emmanuel Quickly can shoot threes at the level that he does, both catch and shoot and pull up, that is such a breath of fresh air in this offense. I don't know that you could find a bigger OG Anunoby fan than me, and obviously he hits the corner three well, but this team needed a little bit more dynamic offense, and Quickly obviously brings that as a scorer and a passer. We're going to see now if he can take on kind of a starting job with a lot more minutes than he had in New York. And then RJ, he could be inefficient sometimes. He can have a little tunnel vision in transition or whatever, but that ability to kind of go one-on-one, create a bucket late in the shot clock, that's the kind of skill set that the Raptors had a little bit of with Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, but you can never have too many guys who can handle the ball and get a shot in a pinch. And I think offensively, at least, the pieces look like they fit a little bit better in that first game.
With those two guys in the lineup, there's 7 guys now who are averaging double digits in scoring for the Raptors. You're also, third in assists in the entire league. Because we have not played the Raptors yet and we only see them twice in the year, tell me like how this team scores, like in what merit. I know they're pretty high in fast break, pretty high in points in the paint, and we'll get into personnel, but like where are your shots coming from? Like how going into this, where do they score? Where are they
Yeah,
winning games?
certainly not at the 3-point line. They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. I believe they're still the worst free throw shooting team in the league. So this is more about, can you get a defense moving enough that there's space to get to the rim? They don't do that at a super high level, but they're a really good transition offense. That's kind of where the best stuff that they do comes from. In the half court, you guys know Darko Rajakovic well. He was there not that long ago.
Oh my God, this
He's
will be his first game back. I didn't even think about
yeah,
that. That'll be nice.
yeah, and Jonte Porter's on the road too, so you guys will get to see Jonte Porter again too. He hasn't played yet for the Raptors, but he's there. So it'd be a bunch of reunions. But yeah, Darko's trying to install a little bit more, a lot more like Jakob Poeltl doing handoffs, a lot more stuff in the high post. Kind of basically the idea is, create one small advantage somewhere and then turn that into a little bit bigger of an advantage and turn that into a little bit bigger of an advantage. And the thinking behind that is, well, one, it makes you a little tougher to guard. The ball's moving around, everyone's touching it and things like that. But also, before this trade, at least, the Raptors don't have a lot of guys who can create an advantage for themselves and then just go one-on-one. Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam can do that. When the Raptors are in a tough offensive stretch, you'll see Pascal Siakam hunt a mismatch, try to take a guy into the post, or get a switch onto a smaller guy, take him into the post, get a switch onto a big, and try to string him out one-on-one. You're probably not going to do that against Jaren Jackson Jr., I realize, but and then the biggest thing offensively, and I think NBA fans have realized this, is outside of the system and transition, Scotty Barnes has taken a real leap offensively, and that has to do with getting to the rim. It has to do with him shooting threes at a lot higher rate and a lot more effective rate. So basically the Raptors are trying to do a little bit of everything better than they did in the past. So far, so good with Pascal as a mismatch attacker and Scotty overall, but still got to, like you mentioned, they're third in assists and they're like bottom 5 in offense still. So we got to see a little bit more results coming from the new system still.
Okay, so that's offense. Let's talk defense for the Raptors for a minute, which means Grizzlies offense. The three-headed dragon that is JJ, Dez, and Ja, now that he is back, they are all averaging 20 or more points, and they all are very different. Ja obviously a driver, he likes to get to the rim. Des spaces out the three. Jaren can kind of do a little bit of everything. Talk to me about what matchups you see there and who you think takes kind of like those defensive assignments.
It's going to be fascinating to see because OG was the answer before, right? To
Yeah.
anyone. OG
Yeah.
was the answer to, oh, they're playing Maxi and Embiid. Well, he can switch back and forth between those guys. Maybe he sees Ja and Jaren in the same game. So how I personally see it matching up is I think Scotty Barnes on Jaren, it probably makes some sense. Scotty's obviously got the strength and the length. He's been really good as a paint help defender this year, has blocked a lot more shots, comes up with steals. And so last game they
And
used
Scotty's
him
what, like
more,
Scotty's like 6'7", 6'6"?
a little bigger than that. I think he's probably
Okay.
closer to 6'9".
Okay.
So
Oh, he's
he's got the size and yeah, and he's got the shoulder width and the strength and stuff like that. So not at an OG level, but not too far off. So I would do that. But what we saw against Cleveland was he was on Donovan Mitchell for good stretches. So I do wonder if they try him on Bane or Ja Morant or even mix it all up. Like obviously Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett are going to have to pick those two guys up for some amount of time. But Scotty is the team's best individual defender. So I think they'll probably, the thing with if he's on Jaren too, they can switch some of those where you wouldn't be able to switch with Jakob Poeltl. Like if Jakob Poeltl is guarding Jaren Jackson Jr. and they're running Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. pick and rolls, Ja's going to get to the rim at will. Like we saw what he did yesterday to Victor Wembanyama.
he also
Like
has a little bit of history with Jakob Poeltl in the Raptors.
yeah, so I would be hesitant to lean into that matchup. So I'd personally go Scotty on Jaren and let Quickly and RJ handle the two guards. But I mean, you guys know this since Jaga, but there's no good answer here.
Yeah, no, it's more like containing, slowing down, not like stopping Ja. Like Ja had
Yeah.
13 points in the fourth quarter because he just wanted to win yesterday. So he can turn it on, and we've seen him turn it on, especially late in the game. I'm gonna finish this with this question to you, and it's a fill in the blank.
Okay.
Because these teams they're quite evenly matched. The Grizzlies 11-22, the Raptors 13-20. Obviously both want to win tonight to kind of get everything back on track. They're both coming in after wins, which is nice. If the Raptors do blank well tonight, they give themselves the chance to win.
Yeah, contain Jaw, I guess. And like you said, you're only trying to slow him down, but this is where it's tough and losing OG Anunoby in general. But no one can stick with Jaw. And if you can't, like, the other thing too with this trade is the Raptors lost a little bit their ability to go smaller that they had before because they don't have Precious Achua now. So
Yeah.
even if you wanted to go a little switchier, that's tougher. You're really small if you do that now. So yeah, I mean, try to keep Jaw in front of you and turn him into a jump shooter, I guess. But I don't love the chances of doing that unless, I don't know, it's a back to back and he's only been back for a little bit. Maybe you get lucky and he's tired. He doesn't seem to me like a guy that gets tired. So
All right. Well, okay. I want Ja to not be tired tonight. So let's see if we can like shoot some caffeine into his system or something. Blake, thank you so much. I appreciate you a ton. We're gonna see the Raptors tonight. Tips off at 7 p.m. and then we see the Raptors again this month. So we're getting a double dose of Toronto. So I'm sure I'll see you again later. Thank you again.
yeah, great to catch up. Thanks for having me.